ready to question everything? Tune in.
Welcome back to the Robert and Crew Show. As always, I'm your host, Robert.
And I'm your co-host, Crew.
And tonight, Crew put together a wonderful show for us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
further ado, we have one hell of an episode for you guys. We got a special guest tonight. And it's going to be about the life of the Philippines.
And particularly this person's life that they've had growing up in the Philippines and all things Philippines. So let's get into it. Do you want to introduce our guest?
Sure. He is the one and only J Ace, a buddy of mine I've known for a good few years now, who also does Ife just like I do. Let's bring him on.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hello, welcome to the Robert and Crew Show.
I'm happy to be here.
How are you tonight?
I'm fine.
So, Crew here tells me that you either grew up or still live in the Philippines. Is that true?
Okay. I was born in the States before. I was there in 10 years. Then I moved here because my dad was appointed in the government, so that's why.
Your dad was appointed in the Filipino government, or
Yes.
oh, that's cool. So, if you don't mind me asking, what did he do in the government?
Oh, he's because there's an executive branch, legislative branch, and judiciary branch. My dad was part of the executive branch. He was the undersecretary of a Department of Education here. So
Oh,
it's the counterpart of the Department of Education in the States. Yeah.
oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So, so you were 10 years old when you moved to the Philippines?
Yes, I was 10 years old when I moved here. Yeah.
So what was that move like?
I mean, at first it was like hard to adjust, but then I got a hang of it because I like being here. So yeah.
Now, so when you look at stuff that's going on within the United States, and then you look at stuff that's going on within the Philippines, what would you say is like the pros of living where you are, and the like one against the other with America? Like, what are some of the things that happen that are the same, and what are some of the better things that happen in the Philippines, or some of them the better aspects that you believe are there.
Okay. There was a former president here, President Duterte. He's like the Trump, to be honest, here, and there was a like a war on drugs. So it's like the war they having right now, but now it's a little uh, better. But there's still a lot of issues need to be addressed, like poverty, like corruption, and like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably like the Philippines, along with a lot of other countries, to be for sure deal with corruption within their government, just like the
Yeah,
United States and every other government. When there's money, there's fraud going on somewhere.
yeah.
Which I mean, but I feel like within the Philippines, though, do you think it would probably be easier to get caught up in that kind of thing, right? Or would it be easier to get away with?
Um, Now there's it's easier to get caught up because there's a lot of more laws that give accountability to the public of officials or government officials that um are doing corrupt practices. Yeah.
So what are the term limits like for the government out there? Like, do they have term limits for how long somebody can be in office?
Yeah, they do. Like in the states, they two terms, right? For eight for each. Here we have just one term, but 6 years.
Okay, that makes sense. And when you were growing up at 10 years old, how hard was it for you to make friends after moving from the states to where you're at now, or was it fairly easy?
I mean, I my first time here, like graded, it was a little bit hard, but when I was like grade 6 or 7, I got no, yeah, grade 7. I got a lot. I became more friendlier. There's a lot of friends I have. Yeah.
That's cool. What's your favorite thing about living out where you live?
I mean, here it's a lot of people who are friendly. A lot of nice places to go here. Like, I mean, I miss being in the states, but it's more relaxed here because since there in the states we do everything, all the chores, but here we have a helper at home. So
Now, what was the like the school experience out there like? Did Are like the schools the same as they are out here? Are they pretty big or are they smaller depending on where you live?
um w- where I live, it's fairly the same, but in the provinces they're a little bit smaller.
So like for a normal like high school like where you live, it would be normal for like two to 300 kids in a graduation class.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So see, like I always, for whatever reason, I get a very skewed view of like some other places in the world, and it's not purposeful. It's just like we get told here in the States about how great America is consistently, and it kind of skews our view about other countries because we're like, well, if we're so great, then like other countries must have like less than we do or whatever, and that's the fault of our own government by how they raise us up or whatever in that aspect.
Yes.
But the more that I look at like different parts of the world, um, some of them are doing a lot better than we are, and they're considered third world countries.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting in that aspect. And like I've always wanted to visit a country like the Philippines. Like that the place is just beautiful. Everything that I have seen, just like the mountain views, the trees and the forest, it's all beautiful.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite places to visit where you live? Like if you could pick one place to go to that just captures the beauty of the Philippines, where would that be?
I live in the city, Manila, but if the people want to go here, I suggest go to Boracay, the White Beach, and or vegan, or the land back in time, we call that, because the places in vegan are like olden Spanish era.
So when the Philippines was became a became a country, who founded that? Was that Spaniards?
What's the question again? Sorry.
Who founded the Philippines? Like who created it originally?
It's not really created, because the history is that we were there was an island, unknown island, that was inhabited by a warrior prince named Lapu Lapu. We were just discovered by the Spanish, but technically we were not created. It was just an unknown island.
Gotcha. So it was just it wasn't known to the normal population of the world at that time, and then
Yeah.
it was basically was it conquered by the Spanish?
Yes. We were conquered for like 333 years, until uh the Katipunan fought the Spaniards. We lost that fight, but then the Spaniards, we were sold to the Americans after 333 years, in the Treaty of Paris.
Okay. Yeah, I actually that's a piece of history that I did not know.
Yeah.
So when you say conquered by Spaniards, right?
Yeah.
Um, so when throughout history, right? We discuss me and Robert. We'll talk about like a lot of Romanesque agriculture stuff like that throughout all over the world.
Yeah.
Now, um, in the Philippines, is there anything kind of like Romanesque, kind of like looking, architecture wise?
I mean, our architecture is like more on Spanish types, like the churches, the houses before. But if you can say a Romanestic, should be um the modern churches designs, um some houses, like mansions, like Mediterranean styles, like that.
More Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So less like I'm sure. So when I look at the world, the more we do research, the more you realize that Roman Greco architecture is literally everywhere.
Yeah.
So even if like people always want to tie it into a lost civilization, and there's two different aspects here, or there's two different timelines that could be of possibility here, and that's either A, there was a lost civilization that created this architecture and built all around the world and then died out sometime before the rest of the world was able to catch up via mud flood or whatever. And some people want to call that Tartaria, which is why this Roman architecture supposedly shows up everywhere. But I think an even better uh, reason to why Roman architecture actually does show up everywhere, and I fought with it more myself because the Tartaria theory is really fun. It's a fun theory to think that an entire civilization was already here and create and built all of this everywhere in the world. But I think the real reason behind the Roman Greco architecture being in almost absolutely every place in the world is because when they saw Rome being built, there were people that wanted to copycat the architecture because of how beautiful it was, and it withstood a lot of it withstood time. It could take a beating, and that's why we have that architecture absolutely everywhere. It's the same reason why certain architecture in China is seen in certain places in Europe and certain places wherever, is just because it works.
Yeah.
What's the when you're in the Philippines, what's the ratio of men to women? Are there more men or more women that live in the Philippines?
Fairly, they're just the same because a lot a lot of you say foreigners migrate here. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, so you guys have a lot of immigration.
Yeah.
Is a lot of that? Do you guys see problems with illegal immigration, or is it all done legally to your knowledge, or are there illegal immigrants that
I
have made
mean,
their way?
more on it's legal at first, but then their visas or their passports expire or something,
And they
then
overstay.
they overstay. Yeah, but usually it doesn't happen nowadays. What happens is just the government system in the Bureau of Immigration is a little bit slow, but we're getting there.
Yeah. So here in America right now, I'm sure you guys have heard the horror stories in the Philippines about ICE running around and
Yeah,
just arresting every
yeah,
immigrant possible.
yeah,
I think a lot of that is being blown way out of proportion. But of course, you do have your horror stories of some of these guys going out acting like the Gestapo, which is very concerning. I don't like that kind of stuff, and I think that people we didn't vote that in either. I think basically what we wanted as people was we wanted the hardworking people that were here illegally to find some kind of way, for the government to find some kind of way to allow the hardworking ones of any nation, of any race, to be able to just stay because they're truly trying their hardest to have some kind of life and they can't live where they came from. But these gang members and these people that are harming people need to go back to where they came from. And that's how I truly feel about it. But it's nuts. It's a lot going on in the world right now, and I feel like illegal immigration is everywhere. It's really bad in Europe too. It's like I've heard the basically the Muslim countries, a lot of them, a lot of really crazy immigration has taken place from those countries into Europe, and now the United Kingdom is having a lot of problems with it.
yeah. I mean, the problem is because there's like this a lot of system problems. It's just it's not the person or the officials issue or the people issue. It's literally the system. They We need updated system so that the immigration there or anywhere in the world is fixed.
Exactly, and we can't have people the thing with America, for instance, with our immigrant patrols right now, the problem is like we have people that are pro for it, and then we have people that are anti against it, and they what happens is you get the stories that are absolutely like horrific, and those are the stories that get pushed out more than anything. And
Yes.
the stories that are good, like for instance, capturing a somebody that's from MS-113 or whatever who's harmed and hurt a lot of people that got sent back. I mean, thank the Lord that guy got sent back. But what we hear is about the mistaken American guy that they send back from Massachusetts for whatever reason who ends up in Iraq. Like we've heard those stories and you're like, well, how did that ever happen? So it's just weird, but I'm sure it happens in other countries too. I'm sure those mistakes are made all the time. If you don't have your proper paperwork, I mean, anything can happen, and that's what's crazy. That's why they always tell you to have an ID on you. You know, we might not like it, but it's good that immigration happens legally for any country. If you have too much illegal immigration happening, then eventually eventually the wherever you're living is going to have an overabundance of people and not enough resources.
Yeah, I can see Julie has a question about um in it's called nepo baby. Nepo baby is like uh children who get work just because, or get famous just because of their parents who
Yeah,
are
the
rich or
nepotism.
famous. um the problem there is they make the word bad, but it's not really bad, because you can use the fame, you can use the rich for good, and there's people who just do stuff they want just because they're rich, and that's the bad version, but not all.
So with the nepotism, with the nepo babies though, that comes
Yeah,
down to a big factor of the last couple people or the last couple families that were high up in the government.
yeah,
Had had family members that were obviously getting cuts of money regardless of where that money was coming from. It
yeah,
was trickling down and they were
that's
buying fancy crap and all this other stuff and posting it on Instagram while like the people that were following them or the people that were hoping that things were going to go better for them were literally starving, right?
yes,
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We actually did a whole podcast on it, and it was about the nepotism problem at that point in time with they weren't just Filipino though. There were the Nepalese nepo babies too in Nepal
yeah.
that had a lot of issues.
Every country has nepotism or nepo baby, but the thing here is every child who was born rich, born famous, everybody thinks they're already bad, but not all.
Right. Well, I think it also comes down to the normal person. If you're raised in a semi-normal household, so let's say you're either at the very bottom, or not. Sorry, not the very bottom. You're either at the very top of the poor, or you're
Yeah,
somewhere in the middle class. Okay, like you're one of those two, and you've grown up. You see people or a certain reality TV, especially if you live in America, that paints these children of the rich and famous as horrible, horrible human beings. And when that happens and they're used as entertainment, a whole view gets wrapped around the aspect of these children never having to work a day in their life for the money that they get to spend.
yeah,
Now, I would say that not all nepotism is bad because we do have people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. And Elon Musk, I mean, a lot of people may not like him, but I consider him a Nepo baby. And the reason I consider Elon a Nepo baby is because his mother and his father were gem mine, like they focused on mining. And that's where the Musk family fortune comes from. It doesn't come from
Yeah.
him being as smart as he is, it comes from his mother and his father.
Yeah.
So all of those people are nepo babies, and
Yeah.
they've all risen to fame in one way or another. I just think the Philippines got a really bad rap because all of that got posted up on the internet in front of
Yeah.
everybody to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. What so when that was going on, was that like a gigantic story for like in your everyday life because you lived
Yeah,
there?
because it was really connected with the corruption here. Because like last issue was the flood control
That's what I was going
issue.
to say. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you again, but that's what I was actually going to say was what there was a whole scandal about about reinforcing cities so
Yeah.
that floodwaters wouldn't destroy them, and all this
Yeah.
money that was supposed to go to reinforcing flood gates and flood barricades, and none of that money got spent that way.
Yeah. Because how the corruption works here is like there's a law called the GAA or General Appropriations Act where the um the legislative branch, the Congress, the Senate, and the House of Representatives make a law where they will put a budget for every where they will put what project they want to focus on. And the sad part there is it should have been the executive branch who's going to implement that. But what happens is what the some congressmen, sad to say, um put money in their own projects, and it becomes a ghost project. They don't do it so that they get the money for themselves.
Yeah,
That's how the corruption
basically a
works here.
black budget project that the United States does to itself all the time is that these
Yeah.
congressmen or these senators or these FBI agents or these CIA agents decide that they need a little bit more money.
Mm.
So they put out some kind of plan
Uh-oh. Yeah.
and then they pocket the money and say that whatever happened. And then you find out 10, 20 years later that none of that actually went down.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, black budget projects happen in every society, in every community, and I feel like most of them get found out early on. It's the ones that are done by like high level government that go unchecked for a while, but at the state at the state level, and then even at I guess you like I don't know how the Philippines work. Do you guys have states or territories, or what do you consider?
Okay, so there's Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. That's the three big islands. Correct?
Okay.
Um there are regions from region 1 to region to the Barm or the Bangsamoro uh Mindanao region. Then we will have provinces which headed by governors. Then there will be municipal that will be headed by municipal mayors, cities that will be headed by city mayors. Then there will be a barangay, will be headed by a barangay captain. And there's also councilors in each. There's a province councilor, which is the SB members. Then there's a city councilor. So there.
So is the one above the city council, the people above the city councilor, are they like senators, or like what are they considered? What was
Uh,
the name you used for them?
yeah. There's the Congress has a there's also senators.
Okay.
which is a what's voted nationally, and there's a House of Representatives. There's a party list system and a district system. So they were voted. The party list system was voted nationally, while the district representatives are voted by district.
So, did you say originally that the Philippines is tied directly with America? Like they're like a territory, kind of?
Um, yes, kinda.
Kind of, yeah. They're not like. Do they have direct relation, or are they split? Because
Um,
it's something I'm confused about. Because I know we have places like Puerto Rico, for instance, that are directly a part of the states, or they're considered a
so they're
territory.
all, because we are a democratic state, so we are all in just we are all connected with just one government.
Okay, so Elmsha says crazy to think it's close. It is with the U.S., but has the longest most insurgency.
Ye- I mean, what? Sorry, what's the question again? Sorry.
He said it's crazy to think how close it is with the U.S., but has the longest insurgency, the NPA, New People's
Yeah.
Army.
Yeah. The NPA is a activist, like a rebellion type of group. But in the outskirts, like Mindanao, in Ilocos, yeah, there's a lot of NPA, which they stay in the forests or places not to be reached by people.
Hey, so they're like a guerrilla warfare group.
Yeah, more likely, yeah.
He said armed group for the CPP Communist Party. They live in the woods. They've been
Yeah,
around a long time.
yeah.
How long have they been around? Like we're saying they've been around longer than like the 80s.
Yeah, more, yeah, there. That's, he's
69.
right. Yeah,
Okay, that's crazy. I didn't even know about the MPA. That's very interesting.
yeah.
So with these groups and what are some of the groups that you have in the Philippines that are considered I wouldn't say negative, but like I guess rebellious besides the NPA? Were there other groups or is that the main one?
Oh, that's the main one, but there's other like MILF. MLF is Muslim Liberation Front, and there's also a like CCP, yeah, Communist Party, headed by before Joma season. Um, and there's other groups that are not really war type of rebellious, but they are activists.
Okay. So with within the Philippines, what would you say is the hardest for the government out there to stay on top of? Like what would you change if you had the opportunity to?
I mean, it starts really to the corruption, really, because if those people who were voted, those people who were supposed to help the Philippines be safer, be better, and and, um, and they are the ones who destroy the Philippines. It really starts with them, because as I always say, because I just had an interview before in a TV show. um what I say is corruption is a poison to the system, because it's not only it destroys the system, but it also destroys um the trust to the government, because not all government officials are corrupt. There
Right.
are,
You need to have the ones in office that can be trusted, and you need to kind of make sure that the ones that are trustworthy will make sure that other people also stay in line or stay as trustworthy as possible. Because within the corruption, within any country's corruption, it all comes down to who allows what to happen.
yes,
And like here in the States, like there's corruption at every level. There's corruption within the small town government, there's corruption within the state level government, and there's corruption within the federal government. So I
yeah,
can only imagine that it's the same absolutely everywhere.
yeah. And what I said last in my interview is that, because those ghost projects, like this, there's a contractor who wants a project, right?
Yes.
He taps in a government official that he will pay or give money, or money, in order for his project to be put in the GAA, or the budget. But that is illegal. That can't
Right.
happen.
So it's basically like the government is taking money or taking basically reserving spots for certain agencies to have projects be pushed through via
Yeah,
being paid
because
off.
for example, like there's an issue with a senator. I forgot the name. He was paid when he was given donation, quote unquote donation, election donation, when he ran. And that he helped that contractor to be having a project with the government. And like I said, the suggestion there's, once you give donation to a election, to a officer or a candidate, once he sits in office, there should be a law stating that once you give and he wins, as long as he is seated in the government, you shouldn't have a project in the government, with the
Oh hell
government.
yeah, I'm down with that. I'm 100% down with that. I agree with you 100% on that. They shouldn't be able to. They shouldn't be able to mess with anything that is going to mess with anything that is going to affect them monetarily, and they definitely shouldn't be able to profit off of it. Like for instance,
Yeah,
we have that issue really bad in the States with people like Nancy freaking Pelosi. Look at her and her stock exchanges and her insider trading, and everybody knows that's what she does. There's literally a website called Follow Nancy or Post Nancy or something, and it literally just shows all of her stock trades so that you as an American can follow her stock trades and make the same trades because she never messes up. She never makes a mistake, and that's
yeah,
impossible. So it's very interesting to see the corruption and how it unfolds. And I truthfully believe that a lot of it is untapped power. It's basically if you tell somebody, hey, you can accept money in this way, but if you accept money in this other way, it's illegal or it's considered a bribe, they're going to figure out a way around that to still accept the money,
yeah,
regardless if the money is put into charity or say they're like, hey, instead of giving it to me directly, how about you buy this for such and such person, and then later on that gets transferred into money and given to them. They always
Yeah,
find
that
a way around it.
that is the what the commentary is that the 10 billion pork barrel scam, because pork barrel is every congressman or every senator has a cut to every project they put in the GAA, which supposed to have is not supposed to happen because legislative branch is only makes laws and not implement them. The executive branch should be the one who's implementing every project.
He also said that was related to a scandal in 2004 called the fertilizer fund scandal.
Yep.
What was the fertilizer fund scandal?
Because that fertilizer fund scale, if I remember, is about agriculture where uh where they put money for good fertilizer, but nothing really happened.
Gotcha. So they claimed they were trying to get fertilizer or create better fertilizer, and
Yep.
instead of that happening, the money was pocketed and it disappeared.
Yep.
Yeah, just like the floodwater gate stuff.
Yes.
We'll just call that floodgate, the
Yep.
Filipino floodgate.
Yep.
Terrible. I feel like when Americans look at other countries, we think that it's not as cool there, and I think that that's a real wrong way to look at different places. But I feel like like I said earlier, Americans have been like, we've been trained to see certain things as cool or awesome, or like you have to, like, for instance, like with the stylish stuff, you have to wear a suit and have a Rolex and all this other stuff to look absolutely amazing. So like to somebody like that, they look at Mexico and they're like, it's probably a crapshoot. But some of the most beautiful places in the world are hidden like that. And I think honestly, to me, I've seen some of the pictures that come out of the Philippines and just some of the beauty that's out there, and like I want to go on some of like the hiking trails out there and stuff.
Yeah, because sorry to say I was born there, but I'm saying that sorry that people, other Americans, not all, are just thinking inside the box where they, as in, they just don't want to leave their comfort zone. But if they leave their comfort zone and go out, travel, you will see much beautiful things, beautiful
That's
places.
exactly what I was going to say. Is I don't think those people that grow up that way, or those people that think that way, they either a never had the opportunity to travel and get out of their comfort zone, or
Yes.
they didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big problem here. But not to necessarily, not to the person. It's not always on the person though, or the person's fault, because in today's society, with the way the economy is going and money wise, it's extremely hard to travel to a different state, let alone leave the country.
Yeah.
Which, back in the 80s, it was real easy to get a passport and it was pretty cheap to fly to certain places. And now, like, if you want to fly cheap, you got to book your plane ticket 8 months in advance.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. Now, with the Philippines, what are the main resources that come out of the Philippines? Like, do you guys have an oil reserve? Do you guys like
Okay,
have
so
certain
we have
mines?
this Maharlika Fund and Manapalaya funds where we there's a certain place I forgot we have our own reserve oil reserve, but usually we don't use that unless there is emergency.
Right. So
we
that's more for the country. It's not to sell.
yep.
Yeah. So do you guys have a resource that you provide to the world?
Yeah, we do. We export our own rice. What we made rice. Um, we have also export our Carabao milk.
So with with the stuff going on right now with Iran and America and Israel, is that affecting the Philippines at all?
Yeah, because I have my own gas station, and our supply is depleting, and we buy gas, diesel, unleaded, more than what should be the price. Like
Right.
our recent we bought like 100 pesos per liter. It's higher. Like before we
What
bought
is
it
it
like
normally?
we bought it like 65,
Okay.
55 pesos per liter. Now it's 100, 113. It's really high.
No, no, no. 100%. I live in Missouri along with crew here, and I can tell you in the last 3 weeks, I have seen gas jump $2.50, and it is absolutely insane because we were sitting at about $2.30, and in some places in Missouri right now, it's almost $4.25 per
Yeah.
gallon. So that's utterly insane because in Missouri, we the highest gas price I've ever seen to date in Missouri while I've been alive was what crew what $4.35,
Yep.
and that was
Yep.
back when they were playfully putting those Joe Biden stickers everywhere saying I did it, that stupid thing that
Mhm.
happened. But now, like, gas is just soaring. I mean, and people say it's going to come down, but what's it going to take for it to come down?
Yeah.
Now, also with the Russia Ukraine aspect, also with that going on, how does how do these wars affect the Philippines directly besides oil?
That we our it's like we have all these called OFW, overseas workers, that are working in Russia, working in Ukraine, working in Iran, in Dubai, in the Europe. That they are they should have they should be safe, which is the problem. And now I just don't know why our government has it did do more measures to bring everybody home. But I can see they're trying. It's just really hard for them to bring everybody back home with not knowing what really is happening there.
They said the travel thing for about every country right now is actually spectacularly hard. And
Yeah.
apparently everybody's been critiquing the United States too on getting certain assets and certain people out of certain areas in the Middle East and in different parts of the world, and they've been critiqued pretty hard on it. And a lot of people are like they're screwing up and they're not doing their job good enough. And like I've heard that everywhere. So I think with traveling, it's just very hard right now to get if you're somewhere that is being affected by these missiles, it's going to be very hard to get you out of the area that you are in without being evacuated via military.
Yeah.
And I think right now, if the military steps in, if you're close enough to where you can see the military step in, I think you're in harm's way, and that's not where you want to be. So kind of it's really crappy because a lot of these people are innocent people and they don't deserve any of this. And that is what I've always said is like this is governmental agencies versus governmental agencies and regimes that don't believe that one another deserves to exist or that one another has wronged one another in one way and that people have to pay for it. And that's not fair.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like even people here, like a big argument here is like if Trump were to reinstate the draft or whatever and force people to sign up for military service, basically it would be like, well, you need to send your own children, which is the argument right now. There's people literally yelling at him, going, well, if you do that, then you need to send Barron to war or whatever. And I guess it's just like these people do realize that they send the poor to die and the elite get to survive, and that's what's not very fair to anybody. And I think that's in every country. I don't just think that's the United States. I think most countries have a system that benefits a select few, and that's the sad thing. And the reason it gets there is because people get too comfortable. And when we get too comfortable, we like when choices are made for us because then we don't have to make a tough choice. It can be made for us. And sadly, that's how the United States got to where it is now. And that's also how the United Kingdom got to where it is now. And, you know, I don't want to see any place in the world turn out to be like Britain or the UK. Like right now, honestly, you can be arrested in the United Kingdom for something you put on Facebook. That blows me away. That like literally you can have an incorrect view on Facebook and you can be arrested in the United Kingdom.
Yes.
And like we're like how are those people allowing that to happen? Like freedom of speech should matter, and freedom should matter. Like you and everybody else and anybody in the world should have a certain level of freedom.
Okay, here's the thing: is there is freedom of speech, freedom of uh freedom of whatever you want to do.
Right.
It's Bill of Rights, but there are certain limitations to that because not all freedom works or not all freedom is good. Because
Sure.
there should be limitations in order therefore balance it because
I
it
definitely do agree with you on limitations of certain freedoms for sure. Like I don't think that, for instance, I'm glad that the United States has certain rules about convicted felons. I wouldn't
yes,
want somebody that had either horrible mental illness or made horrible decisions, and they made a horrible decision with a weapon, and then they come out in 17 years and they're allowed to go and buy a weapon immediately. Yeah, no, I'm glad we don't allow that.
yes,
I'm very glad we don't allow that. So yes, certain limitations of freedoms for sure. But I think when it comes down to like in the United Kingdom, expressing, for instance, like you don't want men and women's sports, and that just goes in general. If you're born with the XY chromosome, you shouldn't be in a woman's sport, and that's
yep,
just how it is because you're stronger, you're faster, you're better than a woman, and it can be physically proven. And
yes,
people don't like that. People don't like that for whatever reason, and they fight it. And it's really weird because that's the government we live in now. That's the people get this freedom of trying to pull off crazy things and doing it in the name of freedom, and actually you end up losing freedoms because of that.
yep,
And we're watching it happen in real time. the same thing with these people that go out and protest, that go and break a whole bunch of shit, or they burn a whole bunch of stuff down, or they just have no care for the things around them. Those people aren't peacefully protesting. They're destroying the things around them, and they're making a bad name for protesters. And soon protesting will be outlawed if everything ends up destroyed. And then
Yep.
you've lost a right. You've lost a right to speak out when you think things have gone bad.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. I like Australia and certain other places don't allow guns. And me as an American, like that's mind blowing to me. Like I couldn't imagine not having a gun. And then I
Yeah.
think of Australia, and they're literally parts of Australia where like you cannot have a gun. Like you just cannot. There's no way to even get a gun. So that blows my mind. And places like the UK and Britain are the same way, right? Like their police officers don't even have guns.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then you go to America, and every house in America has 6 to 12 guns. Isn't that crazy? The percentage, like, and like Putin said something one time that Russia would never invade America because of the civilians with the weapons. And I think
Yeah.
that's the only reason why guns have stayed in the hands of civilians here is the Second Amendment and being able to have the right to bear arms. But every day I see that like not not slimming down and going away, but definitely people trying to fight it and trying to have it reduced.
Yeah.
And I think there's certain things that should definitely be limited. But I think once you give full control to a government of any kind, then you kind of end up like the Chinese government. So it's kind of scary. You either go super crazy and you are completely surveying your entire population with facial recognition, and you're ticketing people without anything and taking money from their account like China does, and your civilians are staying in line because of that, because they're afraid of
Yeah.
not having a social credit score.
Yeah.
Or you're like America, and you have crazy people running around on the daily. So it's just like, who wins here? Who wins?
Yeah.
It's a weird one because me as a person, I want people to have some kind of free will, some kind of freedom. But I also know that comes at a price itself.
Yeah.
And in the Philippines, like when it comes to your guys's like when it comes to money, so you're using pesos.
Yeah.
So you guys work off of the peso. So how much is one, or how much is it, like pesos to dollars? I don't know how much that is.
Now it's 58. If I recall, yeah, 58.
So 58 pesos equals a dollar.
Yeah.
Wow. So like I always forget about that. That's crazy to me. So what is like the peso is the Spanish dollar, correct? Or what's that considered?
Oh, yeah, it's like a Spanish dollar, but the peso in Mexico is different from the peso here.
Oh, okay. So how are they different? Like
Um
I know they're a different monetary currency completely, but like how would you explain to somebody who is American the difference between a Mexican peso and a Filipino peso?
like look, like a Philippine peso is one Philippine is 23.28 Argentine peso. So it's like Argentine it's peso in the Mexico is bigger.
Oh, okay. So your guys' money would still be worth way more than the Mexican peso.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That makes more sense to me now. I'm not the smartest when it comes to currency. Like I have some other currency knowledge of other countries' currencies, but not when it comes to the Philippines. I've not seen Philippine money or Filipino money before.
Yeah.
I know. Do you guys? So are there people out there that back gold as they do here in like America? How they just like hoard gold, buy gold, get gold.
Yeah. Some do.
Some people do.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be the thing everywhere. But a lot of people like the toilet paper they print every day instead.
I mean, some people, but not really.
We don't really have a choice, you know. The people that have jobs, like I feel like we get stuck in a at least here in America, you get stuck in a. I feel like it's probably everywhere, but you get stuck in a cycle of working hard enough to pay for certain things that you need and just getting enough rest to get back to work the next day. So that can be difficult too. And the money, like I know crew knows about this. The money stretch here in Missouri is hard. They
Oh
don't
yeah.
pay what they do not pay you a living wage no matter what job you work unless you're working government or construction. You'd have to be in some form of construction to make a good living out here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it blows my mind because we have all these fast food places. Do you guys have a bunch of fast food places out there in the Philippines?
Yeah. Burger King, McDonald's, Shake Shack. Yeah, we have also Shake Shack.
McDonald's is everywhere, I swear.
Yeah. Jollibee is ours.
Is there a McDonald's in Alaska? I'm sure there is.
Maybe.
I wonder if there's
Um,
one. There's probably not one in Antarctica yet. There will be. McDonald's
whoever
is
goes there.
everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that CEO that didn't even want to eat that hamburger?
Oh yeah.
That was so funny. I watched that and I was like, huh, maybe we shouldn't eat McDonald's. If this dude doesn't want to eat McDonald's, then I probably shouldn't eat McDonald's either. Um, Julie wants to know if some of the food on the menu is different, like from McDonald's there than here.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. You guys have a fish, fillet o fish. We don't.
Do you guys have anything that we don't have?
Hmm. Yeah. We have this burger called Eight Cuts.
And what comes on that?
Um, it's a stacked burger.
So there's like a bunch of stuff on it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What's big in your culture in the Philippines out there? Like what's some of the things like kids do for fun out there?
Um, Street children play like a patintero or a tumbang press. So tumbang press is like it's like bowling in a sense, but with a slipper. You throw the slipper in order to hit the tin cans. That's
Gotcha.
tumbang press. So, patintero is like if you call capture the flag, but within the same line. You have so there's a person right here. There's a person behind you. There's a person in front of you, and if you're the one who's running, you should run towards the end without getting caught by the guards.
Gotcha. Crew, is there anything you want to ask?
Yeah. So I know you told me before that you were in law school.
Yeah, I
How
am.
long? How long have you been in law school, and what do you like about it?
So I'm so here you should there's 4 years in pre-law. I already done that. I'm now on my fourth year of my law proper. So I'm almost done. I'll be taking the bar exam 2027, and I like it because ever since I was a child I really like to be a lawyer because lawyering for me is giving back to the country that helped you, that cherished you, and also helping others fight uh, those who have no voice. So that's what I want to be.
It's extremely noble of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, so my last question, because this one, you really never explained to me, because we've been friends for a good few years now. I'd say about what, 4 to 5 years now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do EFED together. Um, I tend to like to ask this question for people who do EFED, because it's an interesting subject. Not a lot of people are into it, but there's a lot of people who think it's pretty cool. Um,
Right.
what got you into EFED, and how who introduced it to you, and how long have you been in it?
So I ever since I was a child I was a wrestling fan. Okay. Then um I took other names like Julian Thunder before, and I was like a written promo artist. Then when I finally watched Filipino based wrestling, there was a contest, sorry, not contest, a segment called um pay all you want, but it's like a donation to a person, but to it's either you slap a wrestler or the wrestler slaps you. So yeah, and I chose to slap a person, and the host there is my friend. Um, all the wrestlers know me. Uh, when I went to the ring, told me what's my wrestling name or what wrestling name. Then that's when I started using Kenzo Blackheart. I was Kenzo before because I like Japanese style. Then I started that why not use my real name because literally I'm what my character does. I also do it here in the Philippines. So why not Julian Blackheart? That's the start.
Okay, and okay, so like when you got into all that, who introduced you to the EFED side of promos, like in like internet wise?
Um, there's a wrestler friend named Frankie. He's a wrestler here before. We were doing like a fantasy EFED wrestling with stories and everything. Then that started me that I wanted to do EFED. It's fun.
Interesting.
Growing up in the Philippines, what were some of the things you did as a kid?
When I growing up here, I usually play like there's a if you have a Dave and Buster's in Chuck E. Cheese here we have a time zone, so every time I have a free time I go to time zone. I also like to go to water parks.
Oh yeah, I love water parks. Water parks were fun as a kid, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's been very enlightening and very interesting having you on the podcast tonight.
Yeah,
It's an honor. It's an honor.
Thank,
It's an honor.
thank you so much for agreeing to come on tonight and talk
Mm.
about your life in the Philippines and
Yes,
how things have gone for you.
it's fun.
And it's been great having you on tonight.
it sure has. And you
Thank you.
and we tell this to a lot of our guests, the ones who, we enjoy having on. You're always welcome to be on, uh, and tune in and tune out whenever you want. We're on basically, I'd say about almost every night if we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's anything that you would like to plug or promote before we exit here, I give you the floor, J Ace.
All right. To those who want to go here in the Philippines, just contact me, and we will see what we can do to tour you or anything. And if you guys want to study here, like study law, you could um uh study in San Sebastian College of Law, because now I am the student council president um of San Sebastian College of Law, and I'm also a the president of my um fraternity or slash academic org, sui generis. And also, if you like to study art, study music, you can check out Mint International College. So that there. And also we will be having a uh we created a card game, like a living card game called Alamatch. It will be soon out, the Filipino version, but on after the Filipino version we will be starting to create US version. The US version will be having a US folklore monsters and US heroes. So now we
Oh,
have Filipino heroes and Filipino folklore monsters. Yes.
that's awesome. That sounds awesome. Um, is there a website or anything that anybody can contact you on?
You can contact me with my Facebook or IG. I am Blackheart. Or you can uh, also catch me on my email, or Julian Umali, JULLIANUMALI .tfs@gmail.com.
All right, cool. Well, like we said, great having you on tonight. Much love, and we
Thank
hope
you.
you have a wonderful rest of your night or your day.
Thank you. It's
Bye.
2:46 p.m. Thank you. Bye.
All right, so how did you enjoy the show tonight, crew?
I enjoyed it. He's a really, really cool guy. Like I said, I've known him for about 4 to 5 years, and getting to learn from him, his view and his experiences, and everything he's done so far, throughout his life in the Philippines and his view on everything going on out there.
Yeah, no, it was a very interesting night tonight. I had a lot of fun. I feel more enlightened about what goes on in the Philippines now, and I also learned about the government out there and how it's a lot like us and what goes on here and how basically they have basically just everything that the United States has, they have. So it's pretty interesting learning about all that. I had a lot of fun. Thanks for introducing me and bringing Jay Ace on.
For sure.
All right, guys. Well, as always, at the end of our podcast, we show this crew. Can you please let the wonderful people know what this is?
So this is the Robert and Crusoe Venmo link to where if you'd like to, not have to, donate. So that way we can get stuff for the podcast, or so that way it can help us go travel to different places for the podcast.
Yep, just anything for the podcast is what this Venmo is for. No money is used for anything but the podcast. Other than that, guys, you can check out our YouTube, our Facebook, or any platform, even TikTok. Just type in the Robert and Crew Show, and we will pop right up. Click the link on TikTok. We have an alien as our picture. There's also another TikTok that is also called the Robert and Crew Show, which shows a animated photo of me and my wife. You can click on that photo, and there's reels and other things like that. But that's my personal account. Facebook is just the Robert and Crew Show, and I believe Kick and Twitch are the Robert and Crew Show and the Rob and Crew Show. So, yeah, much love. We'll see you guys next time on the Robert and Crew Show. Peace.